Uploading a spreadsheet inside AgencyIQ is easy. First, we need to go to the Leads tab. Here, you'll be able to see a link located in the top left-hand corner that says Import Leads from CSV. This is very, very important. All spreadsheets to be uploaded inside the system need to be in a CSV format. Let's take a look at a spreadsheet to make sure that your spreadsheet is a CSV format. If we take a look at the spreadsheet as we see it here, we can look up at the top and notice that our spreadsheet has an extension after the dot. This is actually a numbers file, which is exclusive to a Mac program, but I can easily export it into another format. Here I can export into Excel or a CSV. If you're on Microsoft Explorer, then all you will need to do is be able to do File, Save As, and then you'll have the opportunity to be able to save it as a CSV file. Therefore, all you'll need to do is make sure that you do save it as a CSV file, or you can go ahead and call it a comma delimited file. Make sure that you have the extension of .csv and you'll be good to go. Now, once we're sure that our format of our spreadsheet is actually a CSV file, then all we'll need to do is go ahead and click Import Leads from CSV, and then click the Add File option located in the top left-hand corner. Here we can go ahead and put a description, and then we'll choose the Choose File option. This will allow us to browse our hard drive and be able to attach the file. Make sure you do choose an extension with the CSV. The file will note that it is a CSV, and we do also have a little message right here underneath the upload area to be able to make sure that we remind you that this does need to be a comma separated or CSV file. When you're ready, click Upload File. As you've uploaded your file, make sure that you do have the CSV located here. If you see XLR, you have uploaded an Excel spreadsheet or XLS. Anything that begins with .xl will be an Excel spreadsheet. Here we've uploaded our CSV file, so we're going to go directly to the right and click Import Contacts. Once we've clicked Import Contacts, we can go ahead and make sure that if our front row of our spreadsheet are column headers, then we can go ahead and say Ignore the column headers. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet real quick so we can identify if we have column headers. Notice that inside of our spreadsheet, we have our first row that has name, address, city, state, zip, phone number. What these are identifiers for what type of content is inside of the spreadsheet. These are called column headers. Therefore, we want to ignore the first row, which would be our column header. So we'll make sure that we do check the box here. If we want to be able to ignore duplicates inside of our spreadsheets, we do identify the duplicates based on an email address. So if you have duplicate email addresses within the file, we'll go ahead and make sure that we do not upload those duplicates within the system. Here, you have the ability to be able to automatically assign these leads to any producer inside your office. If you would like to be able to assign the entire list to a specific producer, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, if you would like to be able to spread the spreadsheet out amongst your producers, you may do that as well. Let's take a look at how we might be able to make sure that inside of our spreadsheet, we say which producer we need to be able to assign leads to. As we look at our spreadsheet, notice that we have a column here called Producer. Inside of this column, we do have the producer's username. So what we're going to do is say that whenever we go ahead and upload the file, we need to make sure that whatever is in column L, based on the username, attaches directly to that producer. So now, as we're inside of our spreadsheet upload, go ahead and take a look at the option to be able to use a column to designate, and then it's going to say what column do you want to designate. We said that column L was going to be our producer names. And remember, it's based on the usernames that the producers have inside the file. If you look here, you'll be able to see what the producer names are, or the usernames are, specifically for their logins. And that is how you are able to distribute your leads based on a column inside of the system. If you just want to assign all of the leads inside the system directly to one producer, just go ahead and check mark that producer. If you want the leads to be able to show up on the producer's dashboard as newly assigned, then do not check mark this box. If you do not want to be able to mark these leads as new for the producer and you do not want them to show up on the dashboard, then you need to make sure that you do check mark the box. Remember, checking the box means that these will not be marked as newly assigned leads and they will not show up on the dashboard. Now, here underneath the status, you can assign the lead to any status inside the system. So feel free to be able to delineate the status. Now, the way that the AgencyIQ system automatically distributes information inside of a file is based on the structure of a file. So, let's take a moment and talk about the structure of a file. If we take a look at one of our files, we'll notice here that we have a screen called Edit Contact. This Edit Contact screen holds all the contact information: name, address, phone number, email address, all of the contact information. Here we have breakout screens that show all of the product information. Remember, you can have multiple products per person inside the system. So remember, your edit contact screen is your contact information, whereas your product screens are going to hold the underwriting information for each type of product. Now, let's take a look back at our spreadsheet that we're uploading. Now notice here that we have column A, which has our column title, which is first name. Remember, we're going to be ignoring this entire area right here, but here we have an example of what's inside that first column. Here we're going to go ahead and say that contact information is the name. So remember, we're going to map that into the edit contact screen, and then we're going to map it into the field within that screen called first name. Then, again, this right here is the last name, so we're going to put it inside the contact information and put it inside the last name field. The address is still contact information, so here we're going to put it inside the contact screen and put it inside of your address field. Same thing with the address to, and map it directly into address to. Now that we have all the contact information mapped directly into the AgencyIQ system, now we can talk about the product information. Notice here we do have an explanation of what product line is assigned directly to this contact. So here I'm going to go ahead and say that here we're going to map it into the auto lead screen. Now this is just what type of product, so more than likely I'm just going to make this the lead nickname, which is that way it'll show up inside my system as just the nickname of auto. Otherwise, I can map it into any field inside of the auto screen that I would like to. Auto is one of those screens that you have multiple sections of. So notice here you have any policy information you want to map in, driver information, and vehicle information. If you're mapping into the home lead screen, you can go ahead and map into the home or the policy information. Same thing with health, life, and commercial. Once you choose the screen, all of the fields within that screen will automatically populate in the field directly to the right. So here you're telling us what screen you want to input the information on, and here you're telling us what field inside of that screen to be able to put the information into. If you would like to be able to map information directly into a comments field, you can feel free to be able to do so. Now, once you map information into the comments field, just be aware that sometimes you might lose, because we're getting rid of the column field, you might lose the title of whatever information that is. If you do not want to lose the title of the field, you will be able to use the append with label option off to the right. I only recommend that mainly for comments fields where you would like to be able to make sure that the title of that column is also included in the notes section. If you have additional insureds, you can always go ahead and upload them as well into the additional insurance information. Now we have our spreadsheet uploaded, and the last thing we need to do is click Import Rows. If for any reason you find that this is not a good spreadsheet for you to be able to work with, you can always go ahead and utilize the opportunity in the top right-hand corner to be able to archive the file, and that makes sure that we remove it from the system. We can now import the rows if we're ready. Now we'll notice that our spreadsheet is no longer inside the Lead Import Files section. Now it's in the previously imported files. Notice here is the title of our spreadsheet, And notice here is a batch source number. If I click on that, that's actually going to show me the list of the leads that we went ahead and we uploaded, and it'll let me go ahead and click on this to be able to make sure that all of them came in. We did actually take out all the duplicates, and I think we had duplicate email addresses inside of that. But also you can go ahead and go into the import information option directly to the right. It's going to give you the opportunity to see why those other lines were not imported, and that's because we did look at the email addresses and they were duplicates. If we would like to be able to undo the import, this will allow us to be able to undo it, undo the assignments, or we can go ahead and archive the file as well. So this allows us to be able to undo the import if we feel like we've made any types of mistakes. These are the basics about how to be able to upload a file or a spreadsheet within the AgencyIQ system. If you have additional questions, please contact us and we'll be happy to help.